What's good, everybody? Good morning. How's everybody doing? How do you guys like that little intro? Was it sick or what? Morning, Max. How's my delay? I don't think my latency is too bad. Morning, Nick. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I am ready to cook. Intro is clean. Good stuff. The song, it's just a copyright free song from. I have a subscription to Epidemic Sound. It's called Midnight Soul by West and Xander. It's just a copyright free song. It's not like a super popular music or anything. It's not like your top hits. It ain't no Britney Spears, you know. Just run of the mill music. Good morning, Sergio. Thank you, sir. Is the camera in the way? Let me know. I can very easily take this camera off. Basically, I'm asking, do you want to see my face or not? We'll let some people pile in here. I'll give it a couple minutes. Good morning, Christopher. Don't mind me, I'm just going to be sipping on my water bottle this morning. I'll try to keep it away from the mic because I know it's going to be, like, annoying. I'm excited for today. Looks like we have a decent little range going on here. Well, working within a decent range. It's not a consolidation, but we're working within London's range right now. We just took PDH. Could see some potential. 8 a.m. was a open, high low close. We took that PDH. We kind of had our manipulation up here. Midnight open. Very little wick manipulation, but we do also have 1800, the daily open, go down, tag into this fair value gap here on the hourly as well as the 4 hour, tagging into this breaker here. It's not quite in a discount of the range, so I honestly wouldn't hate to see us get down below Asia low. Wouldn't hate it. This low right here is going to be your London low. And then this is going to be your London high. Oh, excuse me. You want the glasses on? You mean these guys? It's too early for that yet. I always keep them on me though. You never know. You never know when you need them. looks so cute. That's what I was going for, brother. Where are we within regards to this range here? I think we would have tapped, not even tapped 50% of the range. Yeah, I really wouldn't hate to see us form some SMT. Either go for this Asia low here or get some form of SMT at this London low. And then go higher. I also would not be opposed to seeing SMT at the London high to then go short. But right now, I don't have a whole heck of a lot to do. All I can really do is just kind of sit and wait. As far as the news that is occurring today, let me take a quick peek at that because I did forget. We had some medium impact news, some durable goods orders, and then at 10 a.m. we have consumer confidence, and we have some FOMC speakers tonight. Okay. My volume is low. Okay, let me turn up the volume on my mic. Maybe that will help. I could talk closer into the mic too. Maybe turn up my gain. My OBS settings are maxed out. My bar is showing that I'm talking into the yellow. So that's kind of right where you want to be. Loud and clear for everybody else? Okay. Okay, good to know. Yes, Max, start it over. Start it over. Back to square one. Okay. But I'm glad it's good for everyone else. I did up the volume a little bit for you there. M-dub. Sounds better. Maybe my problem, but Kane is much louder for you. Yeah, I mean, if everyone else is hearing me fine and you're not, then it could just be, I don't even know. Sound issues are always going to be present. I'll do what I can though. I can even up it a little more, but I don't want to be, screaming into the mic for everyone else. Kane's louder than me. I think Kane's just louder than me in general. I think I'm chilling till 9:30. As it stands, there is some SMT at the. Oh, let me look at this. Not really my cup of tea. You got some like 315 low SMT and 330 low SMT, but like it's not anything to write home about, you know. It's not a very high probability setup. Um, However, we have set up a 5-minute market structure shift inversion order block. Um, I could see maybe if we want to have 930 expand up into the London highs, we could have this kind of be a play. It would just be one that I missed, that's all. Yeah, exactly, Sergio. It's exactly what I'm waiting for, bro. Very happy you guys stream alternatively to Kane, and streams get very noisy in terms of 50%. Yeah, there's just a lot of people in there, right? So you get more people in one place, you're gonna tend to get off topic. It's very hard to stay on topic when a lot of people are in there chatting. Um, it's nice that everyone gets along though, for the most part. It's like a bunch of friends. It's like going out with like 200 of your buddies. Everyone's just chatting. Looking longer term looks like engineer liquidity on daily before targeting original consolidation. What's your thoughts on high time frame? Yeah, I've looked at this daily chart quite often, and can't ignore this, right? You have this original consolidation here at all-time highs. Um, Given the nature that equities are, especially Nasdaq and ES, are assets that are predisposed to go higher long term. Um, I have no doubt in my mind that these highs are cooked. When that's going to happen, I don't know. Do I love the way that we bounced from April 7th? Not really, but until I see other news driven events, um, I can't really look to short the market long term. This last week, this run into the daily BISI here uh, was an easy read. Why? Because we were up in a premium. We had some SMT at highs up here. We swept previous weekly high, and we had this inefficient PA. So like that makes sense, right? From a perspective of external to internal, right? Just the nature of how the market needs to kind of move efficiently. Inefficiencies like this, I actually wanted the new week opening gap, but seeing as what we're doing right here, I can make a case for us to just bounce off of this daily BISI, and we do have some SMT inside of this new week opening gap with ES. ES did tag into it. So I can see that. But yeah, long term, Ron, I do agree that it does look like it's just going to continue up into all time highs. Uh, it's not the best, not the cleanest daily chart I've ever seen, but that's just the way it is, you know. What running shoes do I wear? I have a few pairs. Um, I have daily trainers. Um, I'm wearing the New Balance Rebel V4s and Asics Nova Blast 5s. And then I do have a carbon plated shoe that I use for my faster pace days, which are going to be the Adidas Adios Pro 4s. But can't really go wrong with any of the like a higher brand or like more reputable brand shoes. They're all fairly good, except Hoka. I don't really like Hoka, but I've always stuck with like Adidas, Asics, New Balance, and Nike. Those are my those are my fave. As it stands, this 4 hour candle is creating an inside candle. Hello, Maz. Hello, Plugo. Wonder if David Goggins has that many running shoes. He's probably got far more running shoes than I do, and they probably have a lot more miles than mine do as well. Trump media announces about 2.5 billion Bitcoin treasury deal. I see. Bitcoin probably Getting a fat expansion off of that. Would you be interested in the 5 minute breaker long that forms? No, I would not. Unless 9:30 opens and I get some sort of SMT at this low. With the current narrative and criteria that has been given to me right now, meaning what liquidity have we taken, what SMT do we have, it's just not something that I'm willing to take as my first trade of the week. I'm looking for something clean, looking for something that has very little resistance, something that I don't have to think about, that I can just push the button, right? 75 viewers. Fantastic. Drop a like if you guys are so kind. Are you worried about longing above midnight with no bottom wick? Not really, because we still have 1800 forming a wick. I don't use the midnight open as my only form of daily opening price. I use the 1800 digital open as well. So if you look at the daily chart, you could see that this daily candle looks different. Why? I'm confused. It's probably because of the bank holiday yesterday. Anyway, this is still 1800 open. Strange how that's part of yesterday's daily candle, though. Anywho, I am looking at this low, though, as a potential. If we do get some SMT and a setup form at the London high here for a 930 Judas, I'd be interested in shorting to there if projections and everything align. But as it stands right now, there's no clean long on my table that I can see, right? TradingView combines half days with the next day. Ah, yes, that's right, they do. It is kind of annoying, isn't it? Thanks for that. 50-minute SMT. Yeah, nothing I'm interested in. We've got us taking this 730 high. So we have like hourly SMT here. Yeah. Again, not too interested in it. Yeah, you have to look at two previous daily highs and lows. Yeah. Yeah. We're at 9:20, 10 minutes to the open. Hoping to cook something today. Oh. Big stretch. Big stretch. I don't know why I have these on. I had them on to listen to the music. I don't need them on anymore. My big ass headphones. My squeaky ass chair, too. Da, 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 da. Uh, do you enter trades only after consecutive candle SMT? Um, Consecutive candle SMT isn't the only SMT that I require to trade. I do need SMT though. Um, but to answer your question, I don't need consecutive candle SMT. I can utilize just external range liquidity SMT or just internal range liquidity SMT. I like it when we have multiple forms. Like if we go and tag London High and then we get consecutive candle SMT as well as London High SMT, that's an added confluence, right? Because you have two forms of SMT. So it is a higher confluence play. Yeah, we've got that previous hourly high SMT as it stands on the chart right now. I don't see um, too much. 9 a.m. kind of opened and immediately ran higher. The only kind of candidate that I have for a breaker would be below this low here, um, which if I pull the standard deviations of that, -2 has us going below the current low of the AM session, or rather, current low of recent action. My AM session doesn't start till 9:30. Plugo, I'm not going to answer any questions on which prop firm to choose. I think you should do your own research. Everybody's opinion is different. My only suggestion is don't pick one that nobody's ever heard of. 925 coming in. 925 always delivers a fucking beefy candle. Well, not always, but a lot of the time you can count on it to deliver big candle. It's 5 minutes prior to the open. Volatility volume starts to pick up a little bit. Let's see. Show you guys what I mean in 23 seconds. Yeah, see? It's kind of like 350, you know? Hourly high SMT. We're forming this breaker here. -4 lines right up with that London low. If this breaker forms, I think we could get down there. There's that breaker formation. We got swings setting up. I think I might, if we can get up into this Sibby here, I might go with it. But prior to 9:30, that's a tough one. Previous hourly high liquidity. Tough to say. Let me think on it. Yeah, I think this low could be cooked. A little bit of hesitation on that, but I mean, I had to really think about it. I don't really like getting in prior to 9:30 unless we get some form of like higher time frame liquidity. This previous hourly high was, I guess, enough. It looks like it. But again, not too concerned about missing it. This London low, or this London low here looks like it's going to get absolutely fried. Oh, yeah. So again, right? We talked about this. We had the SMT, we framed it. A couple of the things that were standing in my way, I'll say, that I had to really think about for a moment um, was this breaker was rather odd looking. This series of up close candles was nice. It was a nice order block here. Um, it's right before 9:30, where volatility can kind of ensue. So I had to just think about it a little bit, and that just resulted in a missed opportunity. It's okay. It's fine. It's not like I missed, that A plus setup. Um, it wasn't one that was staring me in the face or anything. So I'll let it go, and we'll see what we could do. I think we can make a case for getting to London low here, and then maybe getting a setup to go long, either at London low or at Asia low down here. Both would be swell. But yeah, this would have been the play. Basically taking that breaker. Here's the 9:30 open. There's that low. This should just go to the depths, honestly. We got YM coming up against 9:30, or pardon me, London low. There isn't a fucking breaker in sight here. I think this can just drop. If this comes back and takes this breaker, I'm not taking it though. No siree, Bob. I'll let 9:30 shake people out. If I were in this trade, I would have been partialed and break even. And I would likely be getting stop break even right about here. If it take that high. Or this breaker line here. No breaker here. Unless this is going to be your breaker, which I highly doubt. When you got no breaker like this, you can just anticipate this to be a retracement for further expansion. Unless price wants to V-shape us, which, I mean, I never rule out a V-shape. You're horrible with a mic. Stop turning your head when you speak would help greatly. Appreciate that. But if you don't like my voice and you don't like the way I do things, and you can go watch someone else's stream too. It's no problem. But thanks for the tip. There's your expansion after the retracement. We've got some London low S&T with YM now. YM is just taking that 2 a.m. low. Let me mark that 9:30 open here. Looks like we're just going to use this 9:30 opening price kind of as a true support turn resistance, using this previous hourly low kind of as our little reverse trampoline to continue lower. We do have that London low S&T though, which is kind of somewhat concerning for shorts. We have met projections of this breaker. I don't think I'd be longing this if we get above this high though. Just because by nature of how the swings have set up, you don't really have a swing low here. I would need to see a swing low, swing high that forms the breaker. This is just kind of bunched up candles. Looking good on M5. Yeah, if we get a 5-minute closure below here, then that can definitely spell trouble for any longs. Yeah. Stop at the 5-minute breaker. Yeah, that is pretty big. ES is taking London low now. This is just going to continue to drop. It's going to make me wish that I was in. Can't catch them all. Don't see a setup. Yeah, not really much going on. I mean, 9 a.m. is just opening high, closing low, right after exactly what 8 a.m. did. It's just following the current trend. There's Asia low on YM. We're going to get Asia low on fucking ES too, aren't we? There is -4, just about tapped. London low pretty much tapped out here. Not taken just yet, but what a move. So I'm going to talk myself and you guys through how to kind of miss a setup and just move on, right? So as you guys know, I missed this setup. I was ready to push the button. However, I was kind of doing some analysis thinking, is this something that I want to be in prior to 9:30? Is this breaker high enough probability for me? Do I have any barriers that I will have to deal with in terms of this maybe not being the highest probability setup, right? So we had two taps of the breaker. I decided, okay, if we can kind of get up into here and tap it again while I get my position all set up, I'll push the button. We didn't really get that retrace back into it. I decided I'm not going to chase. I understood that this was likely a setup that was going to play out, and I missed it, right? So I have to quickly just let this go, right? I missed it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not the first trade I've missed, and it definitely won't be the last, right? So all I can control is what I do next, right? You have a couple choices. Are you going to chase price? Are you going to long against your idea because you feel like you need to get revenge on a missed trade? Or are you just going to chalk it up as a moment where you missed a trade, which is exactly all it was. It was not so much so a mistake. And just wait for the next opportunity, right? Which one sounds the best to you? Right? For me, it's just move on. Water off a duck's back. You'll get him again, right? I take a missed trade that's a winner as a sign that I'm on side with the market, which is exactly what I want to be, right? I don't want to be obviously offside. So missing a trade doesn't really mean a whole heck of a lot to me, considering I get so many setups in a week. So you always have a choice. You don't have to chase price. You don't have to act impulsively and off of your emotions. Miss a trade, wait for the next one. Do you have a note on your desk where you ask yourself those kinds of questions? Not really. No, I just kind of have it in my head. I have specific kind of playbooks. So for 9:30, when I'm trading prior to 9:30, I will often require first and foremost high time frame liquidity to be taken. So for me, seeing just a previous hourly high SMT was one thing that I needed to kind of watch for. It's not, it's kind of like the lowest point of liquidity that I require or that I'll use to get into a trade. So I was kind of hoping for SMT at session liquidity at London High. That would have made things a lot more smoother for me. So that's number one. The liquidity we took wasn't all that wasn't all that high time frame. It was, I'd say this is a high probability setup, but based off of my past experiences and my criteria that I've built off of those past experiences, taking just previous hourly high liquidity and getting SMT with that, forming a breaker prior to 9:30, isn't as high probability as session liquidity SMT with a breaker prior to 9:30. So I was thinking about that. Also, this breaker just really fucked me off. Like, it wasn't the sexiest breaker I've ever seen in my life. The projections were quite clean, which is kind of what got me interested. And that's when I kind of went to my micro chart and I started to kind of calculate my position. By the time I calculated my position and decided that I was willing to get into the trade, um, there was still a small layer of hesitation, missed the trade. So that's the way she goes. Now we can continue to read price and move on. Because I'm not going to let that bother me one bit. We've got that Asia low SMT right now with YM. I don't foresee anything going on here. I don't have a single breaker within this leg. If anything, this low is going to serve as the swing low. I'd like to see us take this low, either the next 15-minute candle or at 10, and then get a breaker set up from there. That would be kind of what I'm looking at. Missed trade days are have been the worst days. Always end up chasing something that doesn't make sense, trying to be more mindful of that. That's exactly it. Just always remember that you do have a choice, Nick. You always have a choice. And another thing, you're not always going to make the right choice. You're going to make mistakes. It's kind of just a cost of doing business, right? You're going to make mistakes. You're going to miss trades. You're going to, take bad trades. You're going to oversize by accident or whatever. It's the series of mistakes that really fuck you up, right? So you kind of have to catch yourself. And that's just from always telling yourself, I have a choice. Outlining your choices and choosing the right one. So, if missing a trade is something that tilts you, then take a break. That's the only thing that helps me when I get tilted is like I need to walk away for a bit or I need to do something else. $200 profit for Rishab. Good stuff. So the only SMT, as I said, that we have right now is that Asia low. Kind of just chilling right now. Nothing for me to do. But things are kind of playing out the way that we foresaw. Mm-hmm. 100% agree. Starting with gardening and taking runs helped me to get from being a losing trader to now be a trader. I'm sure it will help me also on the journey to be a profitable one. Best thing when on tilt is to leave. Absolutely. I'm a fellow gardener myself, Max. What'd you plant this year? Okay, we are just getting a range forming here. Might go back up into this 5 minute breaker. I'd like to see what the projections are of that. As is below the Asia low. Hmm. Hmm. Not my setup, but What's QQQ on right now? 102 viewers. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate you all. I haven't done a live stream on YouTube. I think the last one I did was like shit. Had to be March. It's been a while. It has indeed been a while. Some onions, potatoes, peppers, and tomatoes. Nice. Very nice. I've got onions, peas, peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, and some herbs. Do it more often, once a week. We'll see. My primary focus for streaming is going to be in the lab. I'll do these when I can. That's kind of what it's always been. But I am planning on making more YouTube content. So this run higher is something that just completely misses me. I don't have a single breaker to enter on. So we do have everything. We have the SMT with Asia. We have um, us tagging into London low. So this is a viable spot. We've met projections of the breaker, right? Of this oops, of that little breaker that we highlighted before. We met -4 standard deviations. Look at that. See the bodies respecting it at the liquidity. There's just not a single breaker here for me to get involved with. So more or less, I'd just be anticipating us to either continue to run higher and it just misses us, or maybe it does want to smack back down. This could also just be getting way up into a premium of this 5-minute expansion and ripping back lower. Is there an SMT for higher? Yep, we have Asia low SMT with YM. So YM took this low here from 11. But don't have a breaker. Therefore, I don't get in. Yeah, those London highs do look quite smooth, I will say. I'd like to see an entry opportunity come to get up into these London highs. Like I want to see one more dig lower. I really do. One more dig lower. If we can get into um, kind of this area. Actually, let me just mark that out. If we can get into this area, take this low at 10, get a setup in there. I could see that. But that's me form fitting, right? Trying to get in. That's what I would need to see to get long. Because this is a really clean original consolidation. Price could also just go without us too. And that's fine. I'm more than okay with that. I got other shit to do today. Will you make any content on options? Dude, right now, I am not the guy you want to come to for options content. I know next to nothing about how options work. Yeah, I'm very new to it. My goal is to learn lots about it. Um, one of our newest team members and analysts in the lab, Leo, uh, phenomenal options trader. So I'm learning a lot from him. How many years do you trade? I'm in my third year, fourth year, pardon me. It's been 3 years, three and a half, almost 3 full years of ICT. I want to get like a mic stand or a mic arm, but my desk is like 4 inches thick, and oh, that's dusty. 4 inches thick, and like I haven't been able to find any microphone arms that have like the latch that's thick enough or big enough to go around it. So I'd actually have to drill a hole in my desk, which I just don't really want to do. It'd be much nicer if I could just have the mic kind of resting right in front of me and I can just move it out of the way instead of having it on this thing, just on this stand. This hourly close is looking kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Interested to see what 10 a.m. does. Very interested to see what 10 does. If we had a breaker here, things would have been a lot easier for me. Oh, it's the boys. It's the boys. How's it going, fellers? Did you kick some ass today? Kane asks us to come over because he doesn't know what to do. Well, shit, he could join the party. Hello, guys. It's the fellas. You're long? I fucking wish I was long with you. Nice, vested. We highlighted that exact play. I just didn't get my trade on in time. This little guy right here. That was nice. Took you to -4 standard deviation, which was like bang on the London low. That was nice. We missed it though, because I'm a bot. Renee missed my YouTube streams. Appreciate that. I miss doing them too. Hello, Razvan. Sunlight hitting Bray. He is back. I am so back. We are so back, chat. Do you use first presented for value gap? Nah. Nah. I don't. I never even looked at it. I've seen some some chart screenshots of it. Um, it looks like it's pretty interesting how price refers back to it, but I've just never looked into it. I don't really need to. Hit a flex, bring out the leaf blower. We cooking. Yeah, that was a nice inversion down there. Real nice. With some Asia low SMT. 10 a.m. open. This is going to create a nice hourly swing. Yeah, this has cane all over it for sure. For sure. Cook it to the London high. Go enjoy your day. I TP'd this out already. Wish I held, but would have had to pay a shitload in account fees. Exited a $1,600 trade just now for 400 because a Wix stop loss me out. Oh. Ooh. Okay, so we got YM, or pardon me, NQ forming like a bullish hourly close as it stands. ES still below its 9 a.m. open. YM is heavier, way heavier. We'll see. Nothing for me to do. I can't get in on that, unfortunately. But based off of what we're doing on the hourly here, I think up here is cooked. Cooked. You're up 600 and 350 on these trades because you exit early. That's kind of what you got to do when you're building buffer, though, or you're dealing with intraday trailing drawdown. You just kind of take your quick base hit and you fuck off, right? There's 10 a.m. That's that consumer confidence, medium impact. This is just going to rip. Go for that London high. Funded my fucking bouncer. Would you enter on 1 minute breaker, 2 RR TP stop loss under the breaker? What 1 minute breaker? Yeah, which one though? Like I ain't taking this. I'm not taking a 123-point breaker. This ain't a breaker. That's not a breaker. 932.33. That's not a breaker. Not on the 1 minute. At least not for me. And you guys will see why when you watch my YouTube video tomorrow. 920, 5 minute breaker. Yeah. 915 is your breaker. 920 is your swing high. But I ain't taking a 120-point breaker. That's for damn sure. No problem. Yeah, it's I see what you're talking about. I could see how one could think that this is a breaker, and I could see how one could think that these two candles here are going to be your breaker. Um, Truth of the matter is, for me, I'm the weird one. I require, for a bullish breaker, I need to see a swing low and a swing high prior to the manipulation. So, need that and that. Um, we have the swing high on this one, but we don't have a swing low. If this candle looked like this would be a breaker because you'd have swing low, swing high, lower low. This breaker has a swing low, but it doesn't have a swing high. So you need swing low, swing high. So in order for this to be a breaker, you would need to look like this. Oops, pardon me. That is how I see it. It just adds a layer of objectivity to my trading where I don't have to kind of debate, right? Imad, I'm going to be honest with you, I got no idea what the fuck you just said. English, brother, if possible. Your explanation is very clear. Thank you. We're ripping for that London high. Ripping. ES and YM are definitely slowed up. Very clear explanation. Thank you, thank you. Hopefully we can get this London high for you guys. For anyone that's long. Get you guys, get your pockets filled. Fill up them duffel bags. Tell you what though, I know this chart looks so bullish, but what if we get London high S&T and we have this 10 a.m. devil's mark here? I'm just saying. If they want to get, if they want to fuck around today, they could short it from there. Zeus is foaming out the mouth for that. Sergio's looking at that too. Dang. We better take it. Let's see what we get. As it stands, I need to swing low. I need us to kind of do one of these. Because this is just a straight pisser up there. Yeah, ES is by far the weaker pair. By far. It's actually mental how much weaker YM and ES are in comparison. Like if you compare 15-minute charts, we're not even in the same fucking realm. especially on YM. That's crazy. Crazy. It's just one of those sessions where you just got to sit on your hands a little bit, I think, for me. We're not even forming a swing low here. 935, there was an IFEG that got tapped into. Would that be low probability than without a clear breaker? Pops are whizzing by my place. Huh. Um, 935, there's an IFEG that got tapped into. In the 1 minute there. Oh, this guy? Yeah. Yeah. I don't, that's not for me. If there was a breaker here, so the way I trade IFEGs, real quick, is one, I need that breaker block. And let's say that I want to enter the IFEG, I need the fair value gap to be overlapped with the breaker. For example, one that would deter me is if we have the IFEG below here and it doesn't overlap with the breaker. That's a lower probability IFEG for me. I need to be taking it if it overlaps with the breaker. That's how I can anticipate a breaker to form. Let's see what happens when London High gets taken. Yeah, of course, you might. Good question. All right. So First stream back in probably a couple months. Feedback. Give me some feedback. What do you guys think? Is there anything that you guys want me to do differently aside from talking directly into the mic, like Mark said earlier? There's the London High. There's a fire truck. I hear the horn. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you guys do like the video or like the stream, give it a like. More full port degen stuff. Just go watch Patrick Wyland. He'll give you what you're looking for. If you want to watch a degen. Okay, we got London High SMT, obviously. Could have seen that coming from a mile away. Don't have a single breaker in sight. No, I'm not looking at this as the breaker either. I know someone's going to ask because, yes, there's a swing high and a swing low, but, like, there's no structure there. The SMT with the S is crazy. Yeah, you ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. Yeah, that's kind of the way I see it too, Maz. It's like they're just lagging. Like when you have that big of a crack in correlation, Max likes the streams. Honestly, I like the streams as they are. They don't give me FOMO. They're super educational and chill. Good stuff. That's kind of my goal. Influence good trading, not FOMO into shit, not induce any sort of FOMO. 5-minute breaker in line with the previous weekly high. You're damn right. Shit, that's nice. That's real nice. It's a 15-minute breaker as well. So, okay. Here's where my thoughts are. I think we can get a short from this high here. I only think it's going to be a retracement to the devil's mark. Then what I can see is I can see us after lunch getting SMT at the AM session low. NQ tagging into this breaker on the 15-minute. Getting a setup to go long into the AM session high, wherever that lands. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I think you can get a short, but I don't think it's going to be a reversal. I think it's just going to be a retracement to this 10 a.m. devil's mark right here. Well, I guess it's not quite a devil's mark, but a 10 a.m. candle with no manipulation. Let it be known, though, that I don't think that 10 a.m. is going to close bearish. I think it's just, I think honestly 10 a.m. we might get like a, shit. We could even consolidate until 10:45, and then 11 o'clock could retrace, and then you'd have an hourly bullish candle, because it makes sense, right, that 10 a.m. was an expansion, because look at what 9 a.m. did. 9 a.m. formed the manipulation into the POI. We had the SMT. So it formed the swing. 10 a.m. can form the expansion that takes you into the high. The only problem with that I have there is that I just don't have an entry. And that's quite all right. I'm not going to catch every expansion, but that's kind of where my thoughts are right now. Yo, Alex. Oh, that's a big stretch. Oh, that feels so good. What a great first day back, though. Lots of stuff to talk about. Got some decent PA. Nothing that I got involved with, but definitely could have. I love that -2 on previous weekly high. That shit is clean. Doing good, Alex. Missed one trade. Missed a short into the London low, but that is all. I didn't catch the long. Framework wasn't there for me. But now, yeah, just looking for a retracement for expansion up into the previous weekly high. That would be swell. Yeah, got that swing low there. Where does that projection take us? Right to 10 a.m. open. So here, Imad, this is kind of a something that you could use. So this, see this for value gap here? Let's put in green. You see how this fair value gap lines up and overlaps with the breaker? That's a valid for IFVG potential for me because it overlaps with the breaker. So like if you get a closure below here, I'd be interested. But you have to ask yourself, right? Look at how bullish this chart is. Do I want to take an IFVG entry that has less confirmation to short on a retracement when this chart is super bullish, or do I want to wait for the most amount of confirmation before getting in, right? This is a scenario where I would wait for the breaker to form because we are so bullish. Points is up? 30. Yeah, exactly. Quantum. Like this would just be, as I stated earlier, this would just be for a retracement play. So it's lower probability for me. Because yeah, we do have the 15-minute breaker. So like now I have to think, okay, do I think that this can happen at 10:20? I don't think this breaker is going to form at 10:20. Like I really don't think that this is the greatest setup in the world. I think 10 a.m. is going to serve as the expansion. 11 o'clock will give us our retracement. and then we'll just use this 10 a.m. candle's range as our premium and discount, and then we'll just get kind of an open, go print the low, and then go higher from there. So 11 o'clock could serve as the retracement. Maybe it creates an hourly BISI, and then 12 o'clock taps that hourly BISI and the 15-minute breaker, and then we can just go higher from there. Long story short, you could wait for 11, sweep that high, go lower, run higher. External to internal, internal to external. Yeah, that's kind of exactly what I'm looking at. That 10 a.m. open looks nice. Super nice. I just don't know if we get it. It's possible. I think I'd spend some money on that. Let us see. Excuse me. Wow. This is kind of what I'm interested in. ES is slowly catching up. Same with YM. Running those highs again. New breaker. Probably gonna wait till 10:30, or this is just gonna continue to expand to finish off the 10 a.m. candle, which is fine too. That makes more sense anyway, because look at what 10 a.m. is doing. 10 a.m. is gonna serve as an expansion candle. At least it's looking like it is. So the thing with these expansion candles is they tend to close very close to their high, right? Like this 3 o'clock candle is an expansion candle, closes very close to its printed high. So it makes sense to wait for the next candle, because you don't want to always short a candle that's opening low and closing high. You want to short from a candle that opens high and closes low. That's going to give you your kind of least amount of resistance. could form a swing on the 15-minute, but again, that spells trouble for how the 10 a.m. candle closes, right? It's 10:30. If it opens high and we form a swing on the 15-minute and we get down here, then we flirt with the potential of the 10 a.m. candle closing bearish, which we don't really want to see for our buy side objectives. What makes the most sense is previous weekly high. So I don't really want to see us be down here at 10 a.m. at the end of 10 a.m. I want to see us maybe open 11 a.m. there to get a long, or open 11 a.m. here, up here to get a short, and then 12 o'clock to long us up into previous weekly high, or external at least. Now take a look at the 15-minute bullish breaker at the low of the day with a true day open. Projections from there. Yeah, I think this one already. Yeah, right there. Very interesting indeed. You can have relief, retracement, for sure. That's a good eye. $10.30 is right around the corner. I don't think I'll take this. If this breaker forms, I'm not taking it. Because we have a 15-minute candle closing bullish, 30-minute candle closing bullish. I don't have a single candle, besides from the 5-minute, that was designed to go lower. So I think this is setting up a new breaker. It's important to always know where you are within your high time frame candles. I don't think there's much for me to do here right now, so I'm gonna go take a quick leak. I'll be right back. All right, back from the bathroom. Say goodbye to the girlfriend. She's off to work. 15-minute breaker block on ES. Yeah. Yep. It's definitely there. Okay, we got something going on here. We got the sweep. I think I'd be interested in this. Yeah, it's having a hell of a time forming anything. So that's information, right? It's struggling like this. The longer we just stay here and consolidate, the less this idea becomes appealing to me, because what occurs after expansions? Consolidations. What occurs after a consolidation? Another expansion, right? Because it's always that number one rule. We don't reverse from a consolidation, right? We need to see a manipulation and then reversal. So the longer that this prints sideways, the more apt I am to thinking that we're just going to manipulate and go higher, or I need to wait for a manipulation to then get short, because this is just developing a sideways range. I'm still of the belief that I think this is going to stall out till 11 o'clock. We'll take the high, and then we'll get a short from there. But um, I'm not going to bat for this fucking short here, because this is really just me anticipating a retracement to get long. Yep, exactly, Max. Um, yep, 15-minute consecutive candle SMT, London high SMT. If we close below this breaker, I'd be interested. Do I look at GC? No, I don't. I should. Because when NASDAQ is ugly, gold tends to be kind of nice. I kind of like to see both of these get closed below. Is it just gonna run though? Is the question. Watch for the closure. Okay, I'll play with that. It's just a retracement, so I'm not looking for anything crazy. Position's on. Now we're just gonna watch the chart. This will be the only bullet that I try to short this with, by the way. I'm not looking to, blow my load before we get a nice long. If this one loses, then I'm probably going to take a break. I'll come back in the afternoon and look for a long opportunity. Yeah. Looking to what? You never mind. You never mind there, mister. I said what I said. But we've got session SMT. We've got an expansion range that has yet to be rebalanced. We have consecutive candle SMT. I like the setup. See what happens here. I need to see us get away from here, though, for sure. I don't want no pissing around up here, because then it goes back to my first statement that this is likely to just be a consolidation for further expansion. So I want to see us just kind of make quick work of this, get to -2 so I can partial go BE, and then hopefully get to the 10 a.m. open. This is kind of where my eye is. No, not the 10-minute chart. I want the type it. Looks like we might be cooked. We might be cooked. And then that'll probably end the stream here. Because as I said, I'm not looking to mash buttons short. I'll just wait. But yeah, stops at this high. This is definitely a trade that I'm okay losing on for sure. Yeah, it all follows the rules. We waited for it. We were patient. We executed nicely. Nothing wrong with this trade for me. It's not for everyone. I understand that, but for me, I think we had the criteria there. I think the only thing that changes my mind, or not changes my mind, lowers the probability is just the time. Typically, right, we talked about we wanted to see 11 o'clock kind of be this move, not 10, because we're kind of fighting the expansion candle, right? We're fighting the open, low, high close logic of this hourly candle and trying to short it. So it makes for a tricky setup. But I think it followed enough rules. It had more pros than cons, I'll say. But let it do its thing. You notice I'm not even watching the P&L? Because to me, that money's already gone. All I care about is what the chart's telling me. I think we have a shred of SMT. Trade's valid till it's not. Exactly. That's why we use a stop loss, baby. And the only thing that deems it invalid is if NQ takes that high. I think I have to do a YouTube video on stop losses, on invalidation levels, because I see so many people getting stopped out on good trades just because they had their stop in the incorrect area. Like I have a saying, you guys might have heard me say this before, but anytime you move your stop, you are effectively reducing the win rate of your trade. Get chopped up because your stops. Perfect. I'll create it. I'll put it on my list. I have a ton of videos. I actually have the list handy. I'll write it down right now. I'll read it out to you. So some of the trade or some of the videos that I want to do are trading checklist for A plus setup, how to combat and control tilt, how to calculate position size. Very important. A lot of people surprisingly don't know how to do this. Elements of a smart money reversal, internal dynamics, which is a really cool topic. It's basically the order of operations that price goes through when it reverses. Liquidity pairing for drawn liquidity, so PXH and PXL. Breaker blocks, which is coming out tomorrow. I'm going to do some videos on open, low, high, close. And now we have stop losses and invalidation. What on macros? I'm not going to do a thing on macros. Oh, that'll kind of go with, you'll get everything you need um, about macros when I do the open, low, high, close video. The elements of an SMR. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. I could do that one. And if you guys have suggestions, I mean, hey, you guys are the ones watching me, right? So you guys should have a say of what I post. So if you guys have any suggestions, always, always, always let me know so I can better help you guys out too, right? Ew. What an ugly little chart. I got stopped so much for not putting it on the high. You stinker. Video on the we don't reverse from consolidations would be nice. But I guess that is overlapping with SMR. So that one will be kind of that'd be talking about like phases of delivery, like specific delivery phases. I talk about it in the lab, um, where like there's really like two things that the market does, right? It trends and it ranges, or it expands and consolidates, right? So when you're expanding on the high time frame, you're going to utilize internal, external, internal, external, internal, external. You're going to long it from internal with confirmation, and you're going to short from external if you want. Lower probability, but that's the phase of delivery that you're going to get with expansions. When we're consolidating, you're just shorting the range high, buying the range, longing the range low with SMT and a breaker. So you have to trade. You can trade any type of PA. You just have to understand what delivery phase you're in, and you'll know what to do, right? A lot of the time, traders try to trade internal, external, but that's for trending environments, and they'll try to do it in a choppy market, and you can imagine what happens, right? They get their shit pushed in. So yeah, and that's the thing. Most of the time, people, yeah, like Jiver said, sometimes only the only way people know that they're getting chopped up or that price is consolidating is by getting chopped up and losing money. You should have other ways. There should be other ways for you to anticipate consolidation. The biggest one, the biggest precursor to a consolidation is an expansion. So if you have an expansion, you're likely to see consolidation. What did we have here? Expansion. What are we likely to have now? And what have I been talking about that we don't want to see for this trade to work out? Consolidation, right? Looking like I'm going to get stopped right about now. And we're cooked. So that's 1L. I don't mind taking that loss. It wasn't really deemed a consolidation for me yet. But once I saw 1030 kind of close like this, it did kind of spell trouble. But again, not upset by that. We'll probably have to wait till 11. But I won't be shorting it because, as I said, I'm not looking to, and I'm not going to say it, Zeus. I'm not looking to overstay my welcome, just trying to short a market that I want to buy. So I was willing to take one stab at it. Now, all I'm looking for is a retracement to get long. That's what I would like to see, right? You can't overstay your welcome. I see it happen a lot with a lot of traders, especially newer ones. They get so fixated on a small piece of PA. They get so fixated. Oops. Even on the 1 minute, they're just dialed right in on this 1 minute chart, and they're like, "Oh, shit, we might have an AMD here," and they get so locked in that they forget the bigger picture, and they just continually try to short the market, short the market, short the market, and they just get L after L after L, and then the market finally gives them a short after they've been chopped up, and then they miss the short and they miss the long because by that time they already blew their account in the chop. So it's just the way it goes sometimes. So you have to kind of have a little bit of looking outward, a little bit of perspective on what the bigger picture is. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end my stream here. One loss. So, little recap for those that weren't here from the beginning. We missed a short, and this is going to sound so shitty. We missed a short because I was doing kind of my thought process and calculating my position size, and then by the time I was, committed to the setup, it had left without me. Missed the long because it didn't have the framework for me, and then took a short, got stopped. And honestly, all of that is fine by me because I did one simple thing today. And you should do this too. I followed my rules. If you want to make money in the market, you want to be making money on a consistent basis for a long period of time, you need to not try to make more money or try not to lose. You don't do that. You don't do that. You just focus on this. Follow your rules. That is your job. The losses don't matter if you follow your rules because you have edge and you have data that suggests that losses are okay and they're just a part of your edge. And that over time you do win. You don't try to make more money because that puts you in an outcome-based thought process. Chasing money is kind of a paradoxical thing. Right? The more you chase it, the more you try to pursue it, the further and the faster it's going to run away from you. That's why you need a process-based mindset. It's the hardest thing to do as a trader. Hardest thing, to switch your mindset off of the money. Because every single person that starts trading, they do it for this reason. They want to make money. That's fine. I don't blame you. Everybody wants to make money. Who doesn't love to have more money? But you have to learn to switch your mindset to the process. That's what yields the profit. So that is my last little rant for you guys. Yes, Tom, I am Canadian. How do you switch from that fixation to seeing the bigger picture? Real easy. Get off the 1 minute chart and look at the 15 minute. It's as simple as that. Try to spend most of your time on the high time frame chart. And what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Yes. Try to stay on the high time frame chart and have the discipline to stay on it and not jump to the 1 minute. Don't jump to the 1 minute chart or the low or your entry time frame chart, whatever that may be, until you have your high time frame confirmations. So like for me, I don't really jump down to the low time frame until I see high time frame liquidity and SMT. Those are kind of the two things that I need to see first in order to go to the 1 minute. And then if I go to the 1 minute and I don't see this with a potential breaker for shorts, I go back to the 15 minute. Simple. Yes, I'm a hockey guy. I grew up playing hockey. Okay, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys like the video or enjoyed the video, please give me a like. That'd be greatly appreciated. Is the 15 minute really a high time frame chart? If you're an intraday trader, it is. Absolutely. Okay. I will speak to you guys next time. YouTube video coming out tomorrow on breaker blocks. You're going to love it. It is going to focus mainly on how to identify breakers because a lot of people get it wrong, and I want to fix that. So I appreciate you all. If you guys like the stream, let me know. Give me some feedback, whatever. If you guys need to reach out to me, you can do so on Twitter. Just DM me on X. Don't just say, hey bro, or hey Bray. If you have a question, just ask it. Because I will ignore most DMs that just say hi or whatever. So if you have questions, as always, I will get to them when I can. And for those of you that are from the lab, appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Everyone else, same. Talk to you guys later. I'm about to shoot you, hey. Yeah. Okay, guys. Talk to y'all later. Peace.